Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about the banks and the finances of Epstein and how he was able to use this for his trafficking operation. Here we go. He used banks in Eastern Europe and globally all over the world. In Russia, the Sberbank, the Alpha Bank were used, the Sweden Bank AB, also in Lithuania as well. So with Russia, there is speculation that he was trying to use the Russian banks to gain intelligence in Russia to try to get with the officials and certainly use it as a trafficking hub for his evil crimes that he was doing. Like, for instance, in Eastern Europe, he would send some women rent or tuition money, but it's really for something else, more sinister. And he did this stuff with Russia, but there's no direct links to Putin, although there was some alleged theories that he was going to try to do financial advisement for Putin and try to get with the Russian government, but that did not seem to be proven at the moment. And he used banks in France, etc., large amounts of money. So the over 1.1 billion in global bank transactions served as the financial engine for Jeffrey Epstein's crimes that he was committing, and it was flagged too when these transactions were happening. And as I was saying, the primary purpose of many transfers was to pay victims and co-conspirators. JP Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank processed thousands of payments to women. So USA, Russia, and Eastern Europe, mainly, for the tuition rent money, as I was saying before. Another thing he was doing was layering the money laundering. Epstein used complex webs of 134 accounts to engage in layering, moving money through multiple international banks to obscure the original source intended destination for illicit funds. High volume cash withdrawals, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars a month, were used to keep the day-to-day operations of his trafficking rig off the digital record. Something allegedly he did in Russia was pitching the idea of a Russian version of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency known as BRIC. He wanted to establish legitimacy, maintaining a high value accounts at prestigious institutions like Morgan Stanley provided Epstein with veneer of responsibility and respectability that he used to recruit wealthy clients and powerful political figures. Tax evasion and complexity. He received hundreds of millions of dollars from billionaires like Leon Black for unverified tax estate planning services, using global banks to move these sums without standard written contracts. Buying influence. Transactions were used to fund donations to prestigious academic and cultural institutions, such as the Interlachen Center for the Arts, to further embed himself in elite social circles. And Senator Wyden has noted that these wire transfers often appeared correlated to the movement of women or girls around the world, particularly through sanctioned Russian banks like Sberbank. Another thing in this video I found interesting was his TD Ameritrade documents. In the files, the unvarnished look at Epstein's personal financial behavior and trading habits, which often contradicted his public image as sophisticated billionaire financier. Analysts of his 4 million brokerage account revealed several surprising insights. Poor trading performance. Despite his reputation, the files showed Epstein was a relatively poor trader. He reportedly lost approximately 1 million of his 4 million accounts before apparently rage quitting the platform. High volume speculation. At his peak actively, Epstein was making as many as 11 trades per day. His strategy focused on short-term swing trading. The margin bets on struggling companies. Contrarian bets on failing companies. He frequently bet on turnaround stories involving companies in deep trouble such as Radio Shack, AOL, BlackBerry, Sears, and profit for college facing major lawsuits at the time. The Corinthian colleges had to do with for-profit colleges. They were facing lawsuits, etc. Technical errors. The record showed that he often allowed profitable call options to automatically exercise and then sold the resulting stock for a loss, effectively turning winning positions into losing ones. Demi-satisfying the financial genius. For many investigators, these documents served as a debunk myth that Epstein had a unique edge or superior intelligence in the markets. You see, with Epstein, as I said before a million times, he's a very good con man. He would be a good con artist or a spy, which no pun intended about him being a spy, because that's actually maybe quite true. But yeah, he's an actor. He's not legitimate. He knows quite a few things, allegedly, but he's good at talking about them over actually knowing the information. Like, somebody could say they know how to climb a tree, how it works, but they climb a tree and they fall on the first branch. So, because they didn't see and look up that the branch was about to break. Things like that. Lack of big trades. Even with his vast network of powerful associates, the record showed no evidence of one big trade that could offset his consistent losses, suggesting his wealth came from other sources rather than market skill. Bank associations. While TD Ameritrade held his brokerage account, files also linked TD Bank to his network. Although TD Bank stated it never banked Epstein directly, it terminated relationships with two of his associates, his lawyer Darren Idike, accountant Richard Cahan, following the 2019 arrest. So, with stock trades, he wasn't apparently that great at it. He did have investments he got dividends from, but he wasn't what he was saying he was about trading. And so the point of that is to show that he's a con man that's not really being honest about where he's getting his money from and how he does things. He's just known as a liar. The first part about the Eastern European banks and the global banking institutions he was using shows the global human trafficking scale that he was using, and his attempted infiltration into Russia is using Russian banks and Eastern Europe banks to try to, and successfully luring women over to where he was, including all the other countries he used as well, because he used multiple different banks all over Europe and the Americas. So that summarizes the financial aspects of what he used banks for, how that worked, and some information about his trading skills and his overall con artist reputation. That's all I have to say for his video, and thank you for watching.